The series of online talks is brought to you by Culture Action Europe as part of its 2023 edition of the Beyond the Obvious conference program.
These conversations that we call Different Takes on Care create the space to explore multiple aspects and dimensions of care, care for the planet and communities, and care for each other.
We will specifically discuss the evidence on the role of culture in improving health and well-being, and we will ask ourselves how can culture and participation in the cultural life of communities nourish the sense of social and individual well-being.
Different Takes on Care online talks will lead to the Handle with Care, Culture for Social Well-being conference that will take place in Elefsina, Greece on 7-9 June 2023.
What are ethics, aesthetics, and politics of care? This is Different Takes on Care, Take 1.
This is Different Takes on Care, Take 2.
Medicine in earlier times, before modern medicine, it was the artists, the shamans, the dancers, the musicians who were there for curing.
Human beings have engaged the arts for health throughout humanity and across cultures. This is not new.
Arts is a way to reconnect. Arts and culture help us to connect back into the physical sensation of being present, into the connection to other people, and into our connection to a wider world.
And what we need is a culture of caring, because it seems that as a society, we are losing the capabilities to care, or we outsource care.
Health is generated in communities. And so when we activate hyper-local resources, like social and arts and cultural resources, and make it possible for people to engage in the arts and creativity, we're creating entire communities that are a system of care.
A pause, I think, is an important thing for care, because a pause is pregnant with possibilities. In a pause, the instinctive fight or flight reaction can be transformed into attentive response. In a pause, every activity has the potential to become a reanimating force, an act of caring.
Caring for processes, people, and the planet actually takes time.
We need more time for ourselves. We need balance. We've sort of, ratcheted ourselves up to a level of productivity and expectation that's truly unsustainable for our human organism.
So maybe in order to care across spatial and temporal scales, to care for a loved one as much as for an eroding hill or decaying infrastructure, we need alternatives to the current cultural imaginaries.
If we're really making a case for connecting arts and health, then we have to recognize that art is an important sector that needs to be supported. It needs to be funded. The practitioners need to be funded, and it needs to be seen on a par with health rather than as something that is a nice to have.
Caring starts from how we govern and how do we administer those institutions. So we can't just do our nice little care projects, I think, unless everyone's involved.
Artists are agents of change, that artists lift up very significant issues like social determinants of health or social drivers of health. And artists help us see and understand our communities. They help us see and understand barriers to care. Artists and the arts provide opportunities, again, for us to come together and to create social support, social connection, social cohesion, that, again, we know drives health.
And at the heart of that, I think, as practice, is the practice of kindness and the practice of respect. If we can practice kindness and respect as a society, then we're much more able to move forward together. And the arts and culture, at its best, has the opportunity to teach us how to care and teach us how to be kind and teach us how to be respectful.
Do you care? How do you care? Where do you learn how to care?